It is Thursday, March the 21st. And do you have your brackets filled out?
We do in our office.
We do.
We're ready to go. We're excited.
I'm one of 5 that have picked UConn, I think.
Some of us picked Carolina, and the others went with UConn.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. First game is today at 12, I believe.
Right.
So have your brackets done.
Speaking of brackets, that's sort of a bad segue, but what did the brackets fool you yesterday with what Jerome Powell did?
With what he laid out, no. The surprise to the market was I would say surprise pleasingness to the market was his dovish tone.
Very dovish.
If he removed anything, he gave the impression that rate hikes were removed.
Right.
Rate declines.
3 of those
are expected.
Yeah, and 3 is the number. He used bumpy 6 times in his speech, getting from 5.25 on the Fed funds rate to 2% is a long way to go and a bumpy ride to get there. But I think my takeaway from it is rate cuts are coming, whether it's June, whether it's going to be October, but they're coming. And I think that they're just going to continue to collect data and move accordingly.
I think that's the important thing to keep in mind. He is going to be data dependent. He is going to get inflation down to 2%. I won't say he waved off the January, February inflation numbers, but he did not seem to think it was an indicator that they were going to change the approach. It was an anomaly, if that's a word that I use. He didn't use that word, but it did not seem to stir him up. We met this week, as we do on a very regular basis, we being our office, and we talked about the overall balance of the portfolio, the equity weighting to the fixed income weighting. And again, this statement applies to where each one of y'all fall within your own risk category. But in general, we are and came away from the meeting saying we are moving more and more to at least we want to be at a 50% equity to fixed income, as well as we're moving with what the Fed said, even potentially closer to a 60-40 split over the next several months. We decided to still stay short-term versus the intermediate term in the bond world for safety reasons, but we acknowledge that probably by the summertime we're going to need to at least balance that or flip.
Yeah, so that means the Treasury bills will continue in your portfolio.
Right.
And they're holding on. Their yields are in the low 5s and still hanging in there very well.
One of the observations Gib and I in our office have observed is it's easy to get out of the stock market. It's difficult to get back in the stock market when you're coming from a time of real volatility and building back into it. We are building back into that because we believe with where the market's going, the opportunity is being presented to go there. But we understand that creates challenges or worries or concerns on your part. But we believe the data and what the Fed says that's for this year, through this year, that's where we need to be. And so we're slowly continuing to move that and push that up.
That we are. So in our meetings, we'll be talking about where your level of comfort is based on where you are today as far as equities to fixed income positions.
If you have any questions, you can always call us. You can email us. We'll set up a Zoom and we'll meet because we like doing that, and we'll go over that with us. Let us, I said email. You can always communicate to us by email, but we can never take an order to buy or sell by email. So sometimes we get those in. We're going to have to make a phone call. Somebody in our office is going to have to talk with you to confirm. That's just from a compliance standpoint.
And from a safety standpoint.
And from a safety standpoint.
Because the hackers out there have gotten very, very good at pretending they are you.
Right. All right. So if you have any questions, give us a phone call. Hope you enjoy the March Madness kicking off, and we're into spring this week. I think it was the 19th, the first day of spring. A little rainy over the next couple of days, but sunshine and flowers are coming. We do this each and every week because it is your money.
And your money matters.
See you next week.